Hi everyone, it is Sunday around like 4:30 or so in late afternoon. We had a huge storm yesterday and today it's just been kind of warm and humid and cloudy and very nice. I have been busy with these babies today. I'm going to start doing a little top rooting. For those of you not familiar with my babies, I paint hair and then I just do a tiny bit of rooting on top just for some softness. I've noticed that a lot more artists have started doing that. A couple of them I know, and I think it's cool. Somebody sent me a private message and said, here are some people who are, you know, jacking your style. And I looked and I'm sorry, I just don't feel any animosity. I think that's great. This is a community where we all share. It's not okay to take somebody's design, but it's okay to be inspired and it's okay to share ideas. And I think that's really cool. So right on. What I'm going to do right now is root Joseph's head, and I am having, before I get started, I'm going to have a little bit more tea. I am having some, I love this tea bag, these little silk tea bags. This is Jasmine Pearls. I got it online. It was terribly expensive, so I'll probably get like 6 cups of tea out of this. So excuse me if I'm a little nutty. I feel like I have bumblebees under my skin. Some people don't get, you know, that caffeine high from green tea because it's pretty low in caffeine, but I am pretty sensitive to it, so I do. That's okay. It helps me stay busy. So this is some really beautiful mohair that I got from, I think it's Motique. Somebody will, and I'm terrible with names, so somebody can correct me down in the comments if you'd like. And it's super thin and it's just a tiny bit wavy. It almost looks like alpaca. It's really long too, so I think what I'm going to do is cut it in half because I most certainly do not need that length of hair. And I'm not doing a hair rooting tutorial because Lord knows I'm the worst rooter. Or I'm not the worst, but it's not my thing. I'm not real good at it yet. I will at some point be good at it. There we go. I didn't want to lay that poor baby's head on the hard table. And this is my first little ginger baby. I'm so excited. I posted the work in progress babies on my Instagram channel, and a couple of people have already told me they're interested in this baby. And I said, hold on, wait until I root the hair and then see if you still like him. And I want to let everybody know that I am no longer selling babies before they're listed. It just got too silly, and I may have mentioned this before, but a lot of people would see them on Instagram and say, could I purchase this before you put it up? Or maybe people who were clients of mine would say, hey, I really want that baby, don't list it, I just want to buy it from you directly. And it was making it hard for me, especially if I got like 2 or 3 or 4 people who sent me the same email. How do I choose? That puts me in a really weird position, and it just doesn't seem fair to anybody. I just wish I could make them faster and make more of them, but unfortunately I'm a human and I only have 2 hands, and I really like the way this is turning out. Can I show you? Look. Isn't that pretty? Oh my goodness, maybe that's too close. Look at how pretty that color is. So I did like a darker layer underneath, and then I worked my way up with lighter layers. And I tried to keep the tone a little, not brassy, but just a little bit more on the gold strawberry blonde side, the best that I could with paint. It's hard to match paint to hair, but this has a lot of yellow in it. So. And I just make my own paint and I mix my own paint, so there's no recipe or anything like that. And I am just making videos this week of just me sitting here talking and working and getting these babies done. I know a lot of people are home or working in their studio, and I'm just trying to keep you company if you need it, and you're keeping me company by watching, and I really appreciate that. That makes me feel me. I think I always say, I don't want to be boring, and You know, a lot of people on YouTube do all these really cool, exciting things, you know, and I'm just kind of out here working. It's not too terribly exciting. I just pretend you guys are all my next door neighbors and we're sitting around making stuff and drinking tea and talking and swapping stories about growing up and what we're gonna make for dinner. It feels kind of homey and nice. I like that vibe. I don't get enough of that. I don't think anybody does. Not where I live. I live in a suburb, and a lot of people here where I live, it used to be very blue collar. Most of my neighbors, when we first moved here, used to be like in construction or air conditioning or plumbing, that kind of thing. And the cool part about that was if anything ever broke, you knew which neighbor's house to go to, and you could always hire somebody that you trusted. Now, a lot of those people have moved out to other areas, and the people who work in tech have moved in. So most of the people in my neighborhood and the surrounding area commute to Silicon Valley. So not a lot of people are home. Lots of kids are in after-school care or, you know, in all of their after-school programs. And everybody gets home around 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and, you know, everybody goes to bed and does it all over again. So there isn't a lot of that kind of really good neighbor vibe here, unfortunately. Never really has been. It's a weird neighborhood I live in. But, yeah, so I kind of get that here on YouTube. Isn't that weird? I think it's weird. Who'd have thought? I love technology. I'm just going to get a couple of these heads rooted if I can. I'm not sure I will be able to. My little is busy playing Candyland, but I don't know how long that is going to last. And then, you know, we'll have to get ready for dinner and stuff. I took them for a small hike today down to the creek. There's this really cool creek that has, you know, a walking path alongside of it, and it's nestled in this little area that's really nice. And it's not super impressive. It ends at a park, but the cool thing about it is, I think round trip, it's like maybe a little less than a mile or something. And there's a little bit of nature, and you feel outdoors, and it's not too far from here. So we did that, and I just let him play in the creek. There wasn't anybody out of there. The park was packed, but over at the creek there was nobody there. So I just let him pull off his mask and skip rocks and make mud pies and look for tadpoles, and he got super filthy. So now my car is so gross. Ugh, it's full of mud and sand and yuck. But he had fun, so that makes me happy. And before we went there, I had gone to Panda and ordered by phone some Panda for us for lunch, and we just ate it in the car. Again, the park was just too crowded. My intention was for us to get out, maybe grab a picnic table or sit out on the lawn, but there was just too many people there. So we just ate it in the car and then walked down to the creek. And the weather was nice. I mean, it's overcast and stuff, but it still felt good. The temperature was perfect. Brought him home, shoved him in the tub. Now he's playing a board game. My daughter is moved into her new apartment. She's getting that, I don't know, I think she was ready to be away from home, like, oh, I need to get back to my own life and everything, but I think she was kind of getting sad and a little nostalgic to be going off to her new place all by herself. Kind of made me sad, but she'll be okay. You know, those are the first couple of days where you get situated and get into a groove and set up house. I happen to love that. She's not much for that kind of domestic part of life, but I don't know. Maybe, ooh, I just broke a needle. Doggone it. I'm using a really thin needle. I'm using a 43 single barb. Oh my goodness, it is so delicate. And I'm putting on more hair here than I want to. It's kind of, yeah, that's more full than I want it to be. It is so thin that it doesn't seem like you're putting in a lot, but then when you stop and take a look, you're like, oh my goodness, I've rooted way more hair than I intended to. So I might thin this out a little bit as we go to the front. I have to ship off some more of these little baby boxes tomorrow. And then I'll just keep working on hair until it's all done. I'm going to try to do all my assembly in one day if I can. I don't know, it depends how the day goes. The school will be officially out, so no more homework, which is nice on one hand because I don't have to worry about it and pester him and play teacher, but it's also time where he's not going to have anything to do. I did buy one of those BrainQuest workbooks, and I am going to insist that he sit down for 20 minutes a day and work on it, just because the school year has been so weird and he really didn't get a lot of instruction for the last several months. I mean, other than, you know, what the teachers put together, which was really cool considering how much time they had to plan, which was a 0. I think they did a really great job, but it's not, you know, it's not as complete as him being at school and interacting and, you know, having all that time with his teacher for them. But I really wanted to take a week off and do silicone. Not quite sure if I'm going to be able to. I hope to. But I'm going to have to get these babies all assembled, photographed, listed, then shipped. Usually I get a little bit of a frenzy as soon as they get listed, so it takes a while to get them packed up and going where they need to go, and hopefully everybody ends up where they're supposed to. But I did promise the person I'm getting the baby mannequin from that I would paint a baby for her. So I'd like to get that underway, and I want to film that, the whole process. I think of like some cool projects for my kids to do this summer, because everybody's going to be bored, and I always try to think of some creative, fun things to do as a family. I don't force anybody to do it, but you know, if they're bored and want something fun to do, try to think of something to do. I have a lot of clay, and it's just been sitting out there for a year. So I think I'm going to invite my daughter over on her day off and then get my sons out there. And if we weren't social distancing, I would invite friends. Just going to make bowls, just lots of really pretty bowls. I have a wheel we could use to throw. I don't throw well, but it's always fun, and mostly I hand build, so I think just hand build a bunch of really pretty bowls. You can never have too many. I'm back. I am just finishing up. I got her hair done. Again, it's a little thicker than I wanted it to be, and I think I will just continue to brush it out before I actually glue it down, just to get out any stray ones and any place that it got a little bit thicker than I wanted it to be. Also, when you trim it down shorter, it also seems thicker because all the hair is about the same length of hair. This is what we get. And the shine is just the conditioner. Here is a very thick spot there. I thinned it out. There we go. But I was playing with it this way. And I just think if she's a little girl, that would look so cute with a little bow right here. So whoever gets this baby will have fun styling her hair, and I think I'm just going to leave it just the way it is. It's really cute and it's really nice hair, and I think the colors all worked. That's easier to see. I really like the way she turned out. And I started off rooting ginger hair for eyelashes, and I moved over to this light baby brown hair because I did very sparse eyelashes, and when I did the ginger eyelashes it looked funny. It looked too glowy. I wanted something just a little bit more subtle, so I think it looks good. I'm happy. Yay! Now I gotta root the rest of these babies. I'll see you guys in a little bit.